Yeah, I'm now live, so maybe that's the heat of the day. So again, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining our webinar today. So my name is Udo Schneider, and I'm the Sales Director at Mirasys. Today we are presenting 3 algorithms for motion detection, the different capabilities of motion detection in indoor and outdoor environments. So just a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question box in our Teams control panel. I'll bring them up during the presentation, or at the end we will have a Q&A session where we will try to answer all the questions that you have. And if I'm not, you know that I'm a sales guy, so if I'm not able to answer them because they are too technical, so please also leave your email address so that you can answer them afterwards and forward this answer to you via email. All right, Jan, let's start. So our agenda today is, first of all, again, I want to tell you a little bit about Mirasys, who we are, what we are doing, etc. And then I want to go through these 3 different detection processes. The first is the comparative detection, second, the adaptive detection, and the third one is the very tricky one, the hermeneutic detection. So a silly name, but very interesting for your and outdoor environments. At the end, I would like to do a short demo also on our system, how it is working and how it is looking like. So, but let's start with the Mirasys, some sentences about Mirasys in general. Okay, Mirasys is a company that is now over 20 years in the business. So we are located in Helsinki in Finland, but we are working globally. So we have more than 40 countries that we are covering right now. So with either sales departments or our partners. So partner doesn't mean, yes, we are not selling directly. So we have our sales partners, bigger system houses, distributors, etc. So we can buy and get all this knowledge about Mirasys from. So actually, we have more than 70,000 customers, and our customers are coming from different verticals. You can see here banks, city surveillance, military installations, education, as well as sports and entertainment, airports, harbors, etc., etc. So we have a lot of knowledge in different kind of verticals that you can use, and the best would be if you're highly interested, if you have any project or prospect, contact us so that we can give the customer the best solution that he needs. The difference between others and us is that we are having an open ecosystem. That means we have an open and easy platform. So on one stage, we have more than 8,000 camera models implemented into our solution. The main part of this with native drivers. So you have also here a big advantage. So you have special features from the camera that are implemented, but the rest of this of the cameras who are not implemented with native drivers, there are can be connected either via on-with driver or at least via an RTSP stream. But this does not mean open ecosystem. Open ecosystem does really mean that we are open to be integrated or to integrate or to communicate with third-party systems that our customers are using. You see a lot of labels here from named partners. These are not all the partners or technology partners we are connected with, but the process, how we are doing this is very simple and very cost effective. So that in case you have any requirement for this, please contact us and we will find a solution for you and your customer, which is very cost effective. All right, so some highlights as well. Our philosophy is really customer oriented, customer focused. That means that what the features and the look and feel, how the Mirasys front end is looking like, is designed by customer requirements or has been also developed by customer requirements all the time. So you see that all the features are based on customer requirements and not on our own ideas. So it is very quick and easy to install. So normally it's taking 5 minutes to install it. And also the usage is very customer focused. That means normally you don't need that big or that long training for configuring this solution or for using it. So it is very simple and very intuitive. It is very high modular. So in that case, if you're talking about distributed systems, if we are talking about single site solution, if we are talking about many cameras, a bunch of cameras, or if it is only a couple of cameras, Mirasys has only one solution for this. And the biggest system that we have right now is more than 30,000 cameras in one system. So that shows also the scalability of the solution. So if you want to hear more about this, so we are very eager to receive your requirements from you and to discuss or promote this with you together to your customers. All right, so that's about Mirasys. You need to understand that we need to do this in the beginning, because some of our attendees today are brand new. They never heard about Mirasys, so in that case they need to know a couple of basics about our company and about our solution. Okay, now let's move to our topic today. So it's motion detection. So I mentioned before that we have the comparative detection, the adaptive detection, and the hermeneutic detection implemented into our solution. So let's start with the comparative detection. This is a very simple motion detection. You know it from all the other solutions that you may know or are working with. So you have different frames here, so to see it. And the system is only detecting the delta between the frames, or the delta between this. So if there is any motion, then it is raising alarm or creating an event that you can use, for example, to start recording with pre and post recording time, or trigger an output, or trigger a message, or whatever. So the tricky thing in that is, if, for example, if you see the second picture, the light is shutting down, it is creating an alarm because the motion is too heavy for the system. If the system is too noisy, if it has too much background noise, you see it in the third picture here, then it is creating an alarm. It reacts on this. And for example, if you see the German flag here, so it could be a curtain or whatever. If there is any motion in the picture which is too big, then it is creating an alarm as well. So the comparative detection is a very simple tool that you can use if you have, for example, standard lighting conditions, if you have no continuous moving object like curtains or flags or trees or whatever. So for the indoor environment, for example, for a server room or whatever, it is very sophisticated and you can use it. If you have such kind of things that I mentioned before, so then we need to move to the adaptive detection. So what is the adaptive detection doing? So it creates in the first picture a backend picture, and then it's checking the delta to the next picture. And it's taking the same backend picture and is checking the delta in motion to the second picture or the third picture or the fourth picture or the fifth picture. So it's always taking a backend or backup picture and is detecting continuously the difference between this picture and the following pictures. This enables us to eliminate, for example, if there is the light shut down or the light is switched on, to identify this as no motion and not creating an alarm, not creating an event. It is also identifying if there is a continuous motion of certain, of a curtain, for example, or a flag, which is constantly there. So it's also learning that this is not a motion and is not creating an alarm. What it is doing, if you have backend noise, for example, then surely it is creating alarm, because if you have noise in the picture, it is too heavy for the system to learn it because it's constantly changing. And these are not the same pixels at the same time or the next time in the next picture. So in that case, it's too heavy for that. So this enables us really to use the adaptive detection either in indoor environments with changing light conditions, with constantly moving objects like flowers or whatever, or a flag or a curtain. And it is also enabling us to use it in the outdoor environment. And that's very interesting, because also here you have different light conditions. For example, some shades of clouds or whatever. And you have also a lot of motion you don't want to detect. You don't want to create alarms on this. Yeah, so you have moving trees in windy environments, for example. So in that case, it enables you to use this detection in outdoor environments. But honestly, there are also some situations when also the adaptive detection is creating false alarms. And for those situations, we have the hermeneutic detection. Hermeneutic detection is doing it similar to the adaptive detection. So it is creating a background picture, and then it's detecting picture by picture the delta comparing to the background picture. From time to time, it's taking a new background picture because then it needs to start to learn again. So to make it easier for the system. But in between, it is also having filters. So it is trying out to filter different lighting conditions. It is trying out to filter too heavy motions, which are constantly. So you can imagine if you have a view to a tree and the tree is massively moving, so that the adaptive detection is at some time it's saying, okay, I can't do this anymore. Sorry, this is an alarm for me. But with the hermeneutic detection, you can go further. You can go beyond this. And even if you have, for example, raining or snowing environments, which is in the third picture shown, then it is also filtering this out. By the way, the hermeneutic detection is also used to filter if you're using, for example, external VCA configurations or VCA tools like from VCA Technologies to filter out these distortions before it is analyzed by the VCA. Okay. Let's go to the presentation or demo. Okay, I open my system manager here of my system. So all these features can be found in the system manager and here on the recorder side. And then you go to the cameras, you open the cameras, camera configuration. And then you see here motion detection. That we open the tab motion detection. Okay, and you see here right now that you have the motion detection method, comparative, adaptive, and hermeneutic. You can select one of this. You have here, I'm selecting a camera I want to work with. Let's say the floor, yeah, with me. All right. Then you have here the sensitivity slider. Sensitivity does mean you can set up the pixel change to a certain limit. And if this motion is exceeding this kind of pixel changes, this level of pixel changes, then it's triggering alarm. So as a standard, it's set on 65%. And then you see also the quantity. The quantity does mean this is the specific number of pixel changes that you have here. And if you use one of these motion detection methods, you can both work with both sliders to adjust your detection methods. Then you have all these tools here. I don't want to proceed with this, where you can define areas, you can erase the areas, you can clean the complete areas, and you have also here different mask settings. So you see here a default mask and 4 additional masks. So you can use these masks for starting a recording, but as well in case of an alarm to change the mask, for example, for different situations. Or you can use the mask on the scheduler. For example, at day, you want to have this mask. At night, you want to have a different detection. So in that case, you can use in total 5 different masks here. And then at the end, you have also here a counter. And this enables you really to adjust the system and configure your camera, your motion detection on the server right here by starting the counter. And you see then the video is running up and you see that it is detecting the motion and it's counting them. You can stop this as well. You can restart this. So, and you can reset the counter here as well. So a very simple tool. Yeah, so and then you select, for example, we need to stop the counter, the comparative detection. You can select the adaptive detection and you can select the hermeneutic detection. The interesting thing is the hermeneutic detection has, because of its filters and algorithm behind this, first of all, it uses more CPU power than the others. The others, the comparative detection and the adaptive detection, are very simple. So there is, let's say, nearly nothing on CPU power used. But the hermeneutic detection, you need to pay attention. If you have a lot of cameras on your recorder, it is using CPU power. So then you need to balance how many cameras you have with hermeneutic detection, and then to balance the amount of cameras against this hermeneutic detection. In most of the cases, you're starting with the adaptive detection. This is also standard here, which you can use also in outdoor environments, and you start to configure the system. So I try to do this here. So I have a couple of motion here. If I'm not happy with the counting, if it is too much, for example, then I can set up the quantity, for example, to a higher level. So then it's showing me now it's not detecting me anymore because the quantity of pixel changes is not enough. So really, you can also, for example, if you have birds inside or you have a lot of rabbits in outdoor environments, you can say, okay, this motion is not enough. So is not that what I want to detect, and you can eliminate this. So you really can balance or configure your system by moving the sensitivity and the quantity. So then you can measure here by using the counter, for example, that if it is okay or if it's not okay. A special thing when you're using the hermeneutic detection is, I'm using a different camera. Checking the hermeneutic detection is when you start the counter here, it could happen that it gives you in the beginning a lot of motion identification or identification. This shows that the system is starting learning slowly. So if you have, for example, a camera with a lot of background noise, then in the first 2-3 seconds, it shows you a lot of counters. You see also here, there is still too many counters here. So in that case, you start to adjust the system and reduce the quantity or whatever you can do. So this is very important to understand. So in the first beginning, it could happen that you have maybe too many motion. Don't worry, the system is learning because there are a lot of algorithm behind this that enables the system to eliminate all this, let's say, not wanted motion. Okay, we stop this here. Yeah, okay. So this was a little bit overview of what the different motion detections are. Surely you're asking us now, what is the price of this? I'm pretty sure you understood that it could help you, or that helps you, let's say in 90% of your situations, to use the motion detection in your environment without using VCA. You need to understand that VCA is also a fantastic tool. You can build up rules, you can build up tripwires over the fences, you can differ between cars and person, you can eliminate your rabbits in the field, for example. But it takes more time to adjust it. So it could do much more. And then let's say 90% of the cases, a very good motion detection tool is the best you can use, and you can fulfill your requirements. So what would it cost? Honestly, it's content of every single license that we have. So it costs you, it costs you nothing. You just need to buy the camera license, and you can disable the motion detection, the 3 methods here. So again, pay attention that comparative detection is for the indoor environment. Adaptive detection is for indoor environments when you have, for example, different light conditions, or you have moving objects that you don't want to detect. And the hermeneutic detection, or the adaptive detection, is also for the outdoor environments. But the hermeneutic detection is a sophisticated tool that you can use if you have, for example, heavy weather conditions in the outdoor environment, for example, snowfall, rain, heavy rain. So that you can use these filters, and you can use this algorithm to get a better result than with the adaptive detection. Yeah, okay, so far from my side. So I would say we are continuing with the Q&A right now. And I would very happy to hear from you if you have any requests. So let's check. Okay, there was one question about the price, as usual. Yes, I said the motion detection algorithm are part of the general license. So in that case, it costs you nothing. Okay, there's another question. Is this your own tool? Yes, this tool has been created by Mirasys, so it's not a third-party tool. It is our own motion detection. These are our own motion detection algorithm that we are using. So in that case, we are working constantly on improving this. Okay, let's wait a little bit, because I know that the live session is taking up to 20 seconds or so. So there is a slight delay between what I'm telling you and what you can ask, or what you're seeing from my side. I got a message via WhatsApp. Okay. Okay. How many cameras can I put on hermeneutic detection on a server? Okay, this is really depending on the CPU power that you have and the number of cameras that you are recording at the same time. So in that case, I would say don't use all the cameras. So we don't have really a calculation tool. So in that case, come back to us, tell us what CPU power you have, tell us how many cameras you are recording with what kind of resolution and frame rates. And then we can balance this against those cameras that you want to use with hermeneutic detection. Okay, Max Petrov is asking, is such feature exist that when no motion alarm, the substream, low bitrate, or only one frame is used. And when alarm and pre-alarm, the recorder saves full stream with a good bitrate. Yes, this is possible. So you can change in the you can use the motion detection on a lower bit rate or lower frame rate, and when you create an alarm, you can select what kind of frame rate you want to use. So it is also depending on the cameras, if the camera is allowing this. So, but this is possible. That means when the alarm is starting, that you lift up the frame rate. What is not happening is that the pre-alarm recording that you can configure is also running on a higher frame rate. So this is not possible. Because if you change the frame rate, it is exactly happening then when the alarm is starting and not 10 minutes before. So this is the only limitation that we have. Another question from one of the users is, on average, how long does a camera take to configure with these tools? It is really depending. So I'm publishing this as well. Yeah, okay. It is really depending on the situation. So if you have an indoor environment and you don't have any challenges in that, it is taking, if you have a coworker that can move in and out so that you can detect the motion, I would say 2 minutes up to 5 minutes. If you have a more sophisticated environment in the outdoor area, then it could take a bit longer, so maybe up to 10 minutes. But then you need to be sure that if the weather is changing, you need to recheck it again. So it's very similar to the VCA. So if you have a sunny environment with no wind, and you create or you configure the detection, the hermeneutic detection in the outdoor environment, then everything is working fine. Then if it is going to night and the build is, let's say, with configured is in containing more noise, then it might be that you are getting alarms. I had one of the cases where I was asked to configure this for a scrapyard, and I think I was 3 or 4 times reconfiguring the system because of different conditions. So the funny thing is we did it in the winter and we were very lucky because there was some rain and some snow fall, and we were very happy because we said, oh, this is all the worst weather conditions that you can have, and we did it and it was working fine. And then summer came. And the funny thing were there were some spiders building the net right in front of camera, and we had a lot of false alarms. So we need to reconfigure that then again. And we were lucky again, so it was working. And at the end, there were also some butterflies flying in front of the cameras because of the, this night flight butterflies, because of the infrared lightning. And then we need to reconfigure this again. So, and we identified also that there are some limits. So we worked then with time slider here to disable the alarm for 5 seconds if a butterfly was flying there. So we have a lot of tools there to do this, but at the end we were successful. And today he has, let's say, 90% correct alarms, and let's say maybe also 10% false alarms in that case. Okay, another question here. Is there estimation how much higher the hermeneutic analytics than the adaptive motion detection in percentage? This is something I cannot answer. I would say I move this, Max, I'm moving this to my technicians, to my developers, and we will come back with an answer to you later on, because I'm pretty sure there are some experiences in that, and we will answer this question later on to everybody. All right. It seems that there are no questions anymore. I would say if you have additional questions, if you want to try it out, ask for a demo. So we will grant you then demo software and demo licenses. And if you have additional questions, please don't hesitate to contact us either via the email sales@mirasys.com or support@mirasys.com, and we will answer to you immediately as soon as we can do this. Thanks, Max, for sharing your email address with us, so we will answer to this to you. Okay, what else do I need to tell you? I will pause now for during August our webinars for a while, so I need to go to vacation, so I'm very glad. Yeah, I need to rest sometimes, so and I can tell you that in the beginning of September we will come with the next webinar, and if you are really interested, you should share, you should join us, because we will tell you a lot of new stories, very interesting items that will come up. So we had a lot of ideas in the past, in the last couple of months, and we now realize them, and we want to bring them up in September. So it would be very interesting for you, for your business, and for your solutions, for your customers. So join us in the beginning of September. We will announce early enough the next date of webinar, and I'm very glad to see you then. So have a nice time, stay healthy, and I hope to see you in the next webinar. Cheers, bye-bye.